여러분 안녕하십니까? 저는 연합사령관입니다. 반갑습니다. I want to thank General Jung Sung-jo for that very generous introduction. I'm just a servant of our countries, the United States and the Republic of Korea. Honored to be here, doing my very best every day to accomplish my mission of protecting the peace, preserving the alliance. And that's what we've been doing. So, General Jung Sung-jo, thank you very much for the privilege of being able to be with you today. Let me just make sure that the headsets are working okay. If the headsets are good, give me a thumbs up. Everyone okay? Okay. Excellent. Well, I'm very honored to be able to provide a keynote today. And I do hope that this is an excellent event for everyone. I'm grateful to the Korea-U.S. Alliance Foundation and the Korean American Club for the support you give to our members of the Alliance. And you do that so many ways every day. And so I just first wanted to express my appreciation to both organizations for what you do and with my gratitude for the support that you give. What I thought I'd do, first let me just say to all the distinguished guests who are inside of here who've already been named and introduced, it's an honor to be with so many of you. I do want to call out my two battle buddies with whom I work so closely on a day-to-day basis as we truly strive to protect this republic. And that's beginning with my good friend, General Jung Kyung-do, 합참의장, my good friend. We see each other frequently, we work closely. I guess I'm still his older brother, technically, so I can be his son. But also General Kim Byung-ju, who is 한미연합사령관 and my very close friend as well. And there are others whom I've served inside of the room today, and I won't call everyone out, but just let me say what a great joy it is to have such professional teammates that I can work with on a day-to-day basis to address these very complex problems that face us. Were it anyone else, any other military, I would be worried. But in this case, with the professionalism of the Republic of Korea, I'm never worried. Never. Not on a single day. My only desire is to make sure that I'm providing the leadership and the contributions they need from me to make for a strong and effective team. So to my teammates, thanks for your professionalism. Thanks for being who you are. Well, I thought I'd just talk about a few things today, and then we have a few questions to respond to from the panel. And this is quite a distinguished panel, so I hope that you will be gentle to me as I try to answer questions. It could be worse than standing off against Kim Jong-un if you're too cruel. What I want to talk about is really three things, three main topics. The first is a little bit of my thinking about recent events. The second topic would be to discuss some of the ongoing activities, putting them in context with you. And that's particularly the activities of the commands that I'm responsible for. I want you to understand that. And then finally, I want to just say a few things about taking advantage of both opportunities and challenges. Taking advantage of both opportunities and challenges. We know that we're faced by those. We want to take advantage of it anyway. So let me start by just highlighting a few things in terms of recent events. It's always important, and I share this with visitors who come to see us here in Korea, to recognize how different the present time is from the earlier portions of my command. In the first 17 months that I was in command here, we faced over 50 different provocations. That was a fast pace in a short period of time. We have now gone 210 days without a provocation. And I could not have imagined that in 2016 and early 2017, and yet that's where we are. And indeed, when you add the 73 days that preceded that 29th of November missile launch, it's 283 days with a single provocation. Now that's notable in many respects. The nature of the provocations, as they continue to become greater and greater dangers to the world, we now have seen that stop. And we're in a very different place where dialogue, which was previously nearly impossible to find, is now happening in multiple directions. Particularly important is North Korea-South Korea communications. That's a recent set of events beginning in January of this year, passing through the Olympic period, and we should not underestimate the amount of coordination that was required behind the scenes in order to make those things happen that we saw unfold during the Olympics themselves and Paralympics. What a tremendous demonstration of the extraordinary nature of the Republic of Korea. And I was so proud to be out there as early as November in Pyeongchang, and then to come back again in January, and then come again as the opening ceremonies occurred, and then for the closing ceremonies, and the opening of the Paralympics, and the closing of the Paralympics. I was out there 6 times. And to see how brilliantly the Republic of Korea demonstrated sophistication, a peaceful approach, a global presence, all these things really brought tears to my eyes. They did. I'm honest with you, and I feel it even now. I was so proud. And I think the entire Republic of Korea ought to feel proud about what happened. That's now in the past, behind us. When in December, we couldn't imagine whether it would be successful or not. And yet, it was highly successful, and it's now behind us as part of these recent events. Dialogue continuing that led up to the highly important 27th of April summit in Panmunjom between our president, President Moon Jae-in, and Chairman Kim Jong-un. A historic moment. And what an honor it was for me as the UN commander to enable that in every possible way that we could, to ensure that the coordination could happen, but then that the event could happen in a way that the two governments wanted it to happen. We were honored to help set conditions for that. Then a second summit between President Moon Jae-in and Kim Jong-un. This one a short notice summit that in many ways is reflective of the relationship that has now emerged between the two leaders and how important that will be as we work through the difficult days ahead. And there will be difficult days. And then, of course, as we came around to Singapore and our other president, President Donald Trump, meeting with Kim Jong-un in person, the first time we've seen that happen between a president of the United States and a leader of North Korea while in office. A very important, very comprehensive discussion with a new agreement that came out of that sets the course for the relationship now between North Korea and the United States, just as the Panmunjom summit set the course for the relationship between North Korea and South Korea. This is an amazing set of events that have unfolded since the 29th of November. And we should take stock of it. I'm often asked, is it real? And I can say with confidence, look behind you. Yes, it's real. How far will it go? That we cannot predict. But we can be sure that what has happened really did happen. And thus far, we have the kind of dialogue that is important for progress, which is leaders are saying what needs to be done, and countries are doing what the leaders say. How very important that is, not to be taken for granted. So this has been very extraordinary, an extraordinary time. Let me talk a little bit about the 3 commands and what they're doing. As you know, I'm responsible for United Nations Command, still preserving the armistice, which is still intact, I'm proud to report. but also enabling the international community to remain engaged and focused in the security of the Republic of Korea, just as we did in 1950, we do today, with different authorities to be sure, but with that same spirit of the international community being committed to the security of the Republic of Korea. And as I mentioned, UN Command has been very busy in enabling the kinds of dialogue that have been occurring here that I spoke about in recent events. That's quiet work. That's behind the scenes work. But such is the work of peace. It doesn't need to be in the front. It should be in the back, enabling the things that have happened to occur and more yet ahead as we talk about how confidence can be built and how maybe some actions can be done to reduce tension. UN Command will be involved in those things. And in the meantime, we are relocating the UN Command, and we'll cut the ribbon on the new headquarters on Friday of this week at Pyeongtaek, Camp Humphreys, which is an extraordinary gift from the Republic of Korea. The U.S. Forces Korea, also very busy, but in a different way, with a different purpose, generating the readiness that's necessary for all U.S. forces who are committed here. And having been associated directly with the defense of Korea for 22 years now, I have never seen our condition better than it is now. And I can say that with absolute certainty. And that is from very hard work being done by United States Pacific Command, its components, and the departments of the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines. And doing that in partnership with our embassy here. And I certainly want to call out Charge d'Affaires Mark Napper, who's done such a brilliant job in holding the leadership position for this long period of time since January 2017. So this has been U.S. Forces Korea's mission as well, to stay ready, keep the U.S. forces ready and focused, and stay close to the Republic of Korea, keep the alliance strong. We too are moving. U.S. Forces Korea will be part of that same ribbon-cutting ceremony on Friday as we dedicate our new building for our headquarters down there in Pyeongtaek. Then finally, the most important of the three commands, in my view, the ROK U.S. Combined Forces Command, has been part of the reason why all that I have said came before this day, why it did happen. Because the ROK U.S. Alliance, in the form of the Combined Forces Command, has demonstrated readiness and professionalism and extraordinary control and discipline. We had numerous opportunities to go overboard in any reaction to a problem. And only a disciplined organization can raise pressure and not tip over into war. And that is the ROK U.S. Combined Forces Command. I'm convinced that it is part of the reason, not the entirety of the reason, part of the reason why Kim Jong-un has decided to go in other directions. And I will always believe that. But we did this in such a way that we were enabling diplomacy and economic actions to take their root. We had to help set the environment for that to occur, and CFC has done that. And I particularly want to say that is in conjunction with the Republic of Korea Joint Staff. Tremendously done work. And so now we must keep the CFC ready. CFC stays in Seoul while the other two commands move to the south. And we will keep that same spirit of kachikapsida, staying together, going together, as we go into the uncertainty of the future. I'm confident that we'll continue to deliver for our two nations, even as we begin to transform and move ultimately toward the transfer of operational control of forces in wartime between the two countries of the alliance. That's strong. That truly is the ironclad portion of our true broad alliance relationship. And I'm very proud to have been in command of Combined Forces Command. And even as these months continue to pass by too quickly, it's been a great joy to be part of that for this period of time. Let me just talk a little bit about taking advantage of challenges that await us. There is always cause for pessimism. There is always reason for doubt. But I do believe that those who advance sense not the fear, but the opportunity in every challenge. If you want to move forward in times of uncertainty, you can't do so by standing still. That's very obvious. If you want to move forward, you must take a step, take some risk, and move forward. And so we have the opportunity to do exactly that. So while I don't discount the reasons for doubt, this doubt that has emerged through many, many decades of experience, which we do not take for granted, I think we have to also recognize that we are in a unique place right now. And what has happened in the past is not necessarily the prologue for what will happen in the future. We must move forward now, making the history, not relying on it. And we do that by courageously walking forward together. That's an opportunity for us. The opportunity to overcome doubt, overcome fear, take a reasonable and prudent amount of risk to go in a new direction that has not been walked before. And if we do that as an alliance, then we need not fear. If things go poorly, trust me, we're ready. And we'll stay ready. And I believe Kim Jong-un knows that and does not desire to face that. That's the option he does not want to choose. And he doesn't want us to choose it either. So what else can we do in the meantime? That is move forward to help build confidence. And building confidence between adversaries who have stood off against one another and have shed each other's blood for decades, it will not be an easy thing to do. How do you build confidence with someone who took away part of your generations that preceded you, that took away the friends that you served with along the way? Isn't it always that way, though, in history? How do former adversaries ever make peace if they don't take a step toward that peace? That's an opportunity for us. And our national leaders are guiding us on that journey. And we should go with them. We should go with them confidently, giving them the support they need as they make the decision. Remember, war is not just a function of how much materiel, how many people you have. It's a function of what the political will is to engage in war or not. The Republic of Korea has no reason to fear the United States for war, and yet you have foreign troops living on your soil. And you host us graciously, not living in fear of us, because our will is to be together. That is our spirit. So it is a matter of will to determine how the future will unfold. We should go where our leaders take us. And it's very clear that we in the military will follow the orders that are given to us by our two presidents. That's what we do. We provide them options. We provide them room to navigate the way forward into uncertain areas. And we'll be right there with them along the way. Let's take advantage of that then, make it an opportunity for both of our countries to set a new condition, a new normal. And if we do that, we can move forward confidently. The ROK-US alliance is ironclad. In fact, as you've heard from so many of the senior visitors who've come here to the Republic of Korea, they've echoed President Trump's words that we are with you 100%. In fact, we were thinking about making that a new motto. 100% 함께 was going to be our new motto. And I like that idea. Because that's how we have to go forward, together and strong. So with that, those are my comments and remarks. I hope that gives you something to think about. And I look forward to answering a few questions before we go to lunch. And I don't want to delay you from your lunch. So thank you very much for your patience and thanks for listening. 감사합니다. 같이 갑시다.